Hey guys, so for competency 3, the teacher understands procedures for designing effective and coherent instructions and assessment based on appropriate learning tools and objective. I chose plans learning experience that provides students with opportunities to explore content from integrated and varied perspectives by providing an integrated curriculum including thematic units, providing multicultural learning experience, employing play as one learning mode, permitting student choice of activities, involving students in working on projects, designing instruction that supports students' growing ability to work cooperatively and reflect upon one other points of view when appropriate. So I was kind of just focusing on integrated subjects. I chose for my evidence component, I chose after school training toolkit. This provides information how to integrate school subjects with another. It points out how integrating subjects works with a class. It shows how to create a lesson plan with other school subjects. And it provides 3 lesson plan samples. I chose this website because it explains how to add more information to your lesson plan by integrating with other subjects, and it helps you understand how to make a connection between the 2 school subjects. So here it just talks about what is integrating subjects and how, just basically just what it is and what kind of you can do. And then what do I do? It tells you to think of different themes that you can incorporate. You can incorporate science with social studies depending on the theme of the lesson you pick. For mine, I did plants and math. Just finding an activity worksheet that had math with the plants in it. I'll show you later on. Why does it work? It just explains why integrating subjects work and how beneficial it is. Just gives them the chance to retain other subject areas. Maybe they either have learned or maybe they're learning something new. So they can either just like use it to remember it or just learn something new when it's integrated. And just helps them retain what they're learning. And then it gives you like a template, a lesson plan template. So it gives you that, and then it tells you the lesson plan template questions. You know, what grade level you're going to, how long is this lesson plan going to be, what kind of goals are you trying to get, what type of materials, and then you list like the procedures in the preparation of your lesson plan. And then what to do. This is kind of like you're talking about the 5 E's. Engage, explore, explain, extend, and evaluate. And then the outcomes are what you're looking for. So what are you looking for when you teach this lesson plan to your students? Basically was asking. And then after you present the lesson plan, it's always good to do self-evaluation on yourself just to see how the lesson plan came out for your how it came out for you, and did you feel you hit all the learning goals you wanted? Did the preparation go the way you wanted? Did you get the outcomes you were looking for? Just stuff like that. And then if you either hit some of the goals and you didn't get some of the outcomes, that's okay. That's something that you would need to fix for the next time you do it, and it gets you more prepared with lesson plans. And it has 3 simple lesson plans here. So that's pretty much it on the website. I thought that would be kind of just useful. So it just shows how important we need to integrate school subjects with other subjects. For my product evidence, I presented my part of a plant lesson plan. This is created for first grade students, and it focuses on science with an integrative math subject. The students are learning parts of the plant and working on their additions with the practice of identifying parts of the plant. This lesson plan shows the importance of integrating subjects between science and math You can put two subjects together, but needs to be a reason behind it. I wanted my students to learn about plants, and they learn about the plants so they can be able to identify the parts of a plant and see the plants all around, because that's what you see mostly when you walk outside. You see nothing but plants. So this is just like when they go outside and they're with their parents, like, look, Mom, this is the parts of the plant. Here's the roots, the leaf, the stems, and the flowers. And be able to identify which plant or what's the definition for each part. And I wanted my students to practice their addition because I feel like additions, you use it every day, practically every day. But what I see in my first grade class is that my teacher, Ms. Mackay, is trying to teach the students about knowing their math. You know, they don't need to use fingers, draw a picture. They just know it by heart. Like, what's 2 plus 4? That's 6. And then 2 plus 5, that's 7. 2 plus 6 is 8. And so on and so forth, instead of trying to count with your fingers or draw. So it's kind of like repetition. This gives them the chance to practice and be able to know how to add and eventually know the answers just by looking at it. So I'm going to bring up my parts and plants, and then I forgot to attach the worksheet that I wanted to present, but I'm going to pull it up really quick. Let me find it really quick in my Pinterest. I thought I attached it to my lesson plan. Okay, so oops, let me pull it up. So I have my title here, Parts of a Plant. This is for first grade science. The lesson theme is about plants, and I'm integrating in math. And I put my time duration at 40 minutes. It might take more just depending on how the students are that you receive in your classroom. And then I have my TEKS here for my science and then my math. And then I added my ELPs because they will be dealing with vocabulary and with the definition as well. And I have my objectives, and then my assessments are important because this is what I want them to do after presenting the lesson plan. This is kind of more just practicing if they understood my lesson or not. And if they didn't, then I would need to go back and reteach it, but in a different way. I wouldn't use the same way. I listed my materials here. I started my question of what I want to start in class, and then I list all my procedures or my preparation step by step. And so what I really wanted to get a point of this, when I wanted to include math and my science level, I wanted to do this. This is a worksheet I print out. Sorry if it's a little blurry, guys. I apologize. So here you have the flower, the stem, and the leaves. The only thing it's missing is the roots, but I would have the kids draw their roots on their own so they'd be able to know the part. You see the 4 parts of the plant. But here it has all the mathematics of addition. They're not too big for first graders. These are what normally they see now in first grade. And what they would do, they would add them up. So 6 plus 4 would be 10. And then they would look at their color sheet, their key sheet, so they know if any answer that has the number 10, they will color it yellow. So they will color the middle part yellow. And then, so you have 10 plus 1 equals 11. So they will look at for 11, which they would have to color this green. And 9 plus 2 equals 11 as well, so they would have to color it green. And all the petals are in different colors, but they would just try to add them up. And I would give examples. They can draw. They can make the problem, instead of horizontal, they can make it vertical, or they can simply count by using their fingers. And that just gives them a fun way chance and a little breezer after learning the lesson. This will just kind of be like a reteaching thing for mathematics, and just a relaxing at the same time, because they do get to color after completing all the problems. So my performance component would be a classroom garden. After presenting the lesson, I would have the class create a garden outside by the classroom. I would provide the seeds for the to plant. The students would have to figure out how many flowers they want, so they would have to add to see how many flowers, but first they would need to figure out how many spaces they will need once they figure out the total, just to see if say they want 20 flowers in their garden. They have to see if there's going to be enough room for 20 flowers or not. Then when I give them the seed package, they're going to read it and see how far apart the flowers would need to be from each other, so they won't all clash, and they would all the flowers would be all bunched up together, and they would work together to complete this project. The teacher will just be monitoring, making sure they're doing it correctly, and if they're not understanding, then the teacher will step in. I want to give them the chance to see how the beginning process of a plant is. Once you plant the seed, the root starts growing, the stem, the leaves, then the petals. And I wanted to give them the chance on working their math out and to create something on their own with some math and science. And then I want to display the garden by the classroom so we can keep an eye on the process of the growth. So we can see week 1, okay, nothing yet. Okay, week 2, there's a bud. It's starting to grow, and towards the end, and we'll just teach them how important it is to water, give it plenty of sunlight, give it plenty of minerals and nutrients it needs, so they would understand how that's the process as well. For my summary, we need to understand the TEKS because it creates an impact on the lesson plan. It gives us clear objective and goals on what we need to teach to our students. But also by reading the TEKS, it can tell us how to prepare an assessment or creative ideas on how we can execute a detailed and effective lesson plan for the students. It's hard to create a lesson plan because I feel like we only have a limit of time to teach a subject to a student. And some subjects, I feel like some subjects require more. But again, that also just depends on the students in the classroom. So we would really need to focus on creating a lesson plan and make sure the students will learn the TEKS that we're supposed to teach them. So I want to make sure that my students understand the parts of a plant and make sure they understand how to do their addition. That's what I'm really trying to focus on. Just to be, when you're integrating subjects, is very beneficial to the students because we are reinforcing specific skills, and students are able to retain what they're learning. It's giving them more practice of what they already learned previously in a class. And then sometimes relearning something, and a student might understand it more by learning in a different situation or environment. And you can also incorporate different learning styles when creating an integrated lesson plan. You can try to put visual, audio, tactile, synthetics, just different types, just because one student may not be able to learn visually. So it's just really important to know your TEKS and create a very well detailed lesson plan, and also come with backups, because you never know if it doesn't work out and you still have time to teach the lesson. You just need to always have that backup plan.